Welcome to Classroom Instruction That Works with English Language Learners.
Jane D. Hill and Kathleen M. Flynn are both consultants for Mid-Continent Research for Education and Learning. Ms. Hill has a background in bilingual special education. Ms. Flynn has a background in educational psychology. Both have considerable teaching experience. This book is intended for mainstream K-12 teachers with English language learners in their classrooms. This presentation highlights the book's most applicable features. As stated by the authors, language is the air we breathe and the water in which we swim. It comes as naturally to us as seeing the sky or digesting our food. It is as vital a part of us as our name and personality. But what if we suddenly had to breathe different air, or swim in different waters? What if we consciously had to think about selecting the words we were going to say, getting them in the right order, applying the correct grammatical rules, and using the correct pronunciation? If we had to think about not only what we say, but also how to say it, the language overload would be exhausting.
In the 1990s, researchers from Mid-Continent Capital Research for Education and Learning compiled a list of strategies based on 30 years of analysis and numerous studies. This book is organized according to those 9 instructional strategies. With each chapter, the authors give examples of how to differentiate the learning strategies for each of the 5 stages of second language acquisition, which are pre-production, early production, speech emergence, intermediate fluency, and advanced fluency. Hill and Flynn explain how teachers should be aware that a student's academic language proficiency will not directly correlate to their conversational language proficiency. This graphic organizer shows how language proficiency is like an iceberg, with conversational language skills immediately visible on the surface, and academic language skills requiring more explicit assessment. To read more about Cummins' theories of Bix and Kalp, visit the link at the bottom of the page.
The cognitive academic language skills as presented by Hill and Flynn directly correspond with the levels of Bloom's taxonomy.
The book informs readers that the classroom becomes a friendlier place for English language learners when they have clearly stated objectives for learning. Lessons should have both a content objective and a language objective.
In this example, students will learn about comparative suffixes as they compare and contrast different properties of matter. Feedback should be corrective in nature, timely, and criterion referenced. To correct verbal mistakes, model correct structures by restating what students say rather than overtly correcting grammar and pronunciation. Teach students a system of correction symbols that they will recognize when you edit written work. Monkey. Using non-linguistic representations, such as pictures, sounds, props or objects, different types of diagrams, and hands-on experiments, helps make information more understandable to ELLs. According to Howard Gardner's Multiple Intelligences, using non-linguistic representations will target visual spatial, logical mathematical, bodily kinesthetic, and possibly musical learners. Since ELLs have not fully developed their linguistic abilities in their target language, it is important for them to utilize their other intelligences to aid in the second language learning process. Questions can be used to access prior knowledge and to set the stage for the new topic. Activating prior knowledge is the primary goal when utilizing advanced organizers. When introducing new information, teachers should make sure that students are able to forge connections between new information and their existing schemas.
For information about the relationships between the advanced organizer methodology and Piaget's theory of cognitive development and schemas, please visit the links at the bottom of the slide.
According to Hill and Flynn, the cooperative learning technique can be an effective instructional tool in the classroom, as students are strategically grouped by the teacher in order to complete a given task. cooperative learning groups can be particularly beneficial to English language learners, regardless of their level of English proficiency. By grouping ELL students with their native English-speaking peers, the ELL students have opportunities to acquire, practice, and improve their listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills in English. Students are able to receive more frequent and immediate feedback from their group mates as well as their teacher. And both ELL students and native English-speaking students are able to strengthen their communicative, decision-making, and conflict resolution skills as they work together. Researchers and educators have found that cooperative learning groups can help students strengthen their language skills and interpersonal skills in ways that whole class instruction cannot. However, it is important to remember that this instructional strategy should be used intermittently with whole group instruction and independent study and practice. Students need ample opportunities to practice on their own.
Each cooperative learning group should include both native English speakers and English language learners. The goal is to have students utilize their strengths to assist their peers while allowing their peers to help them strengthen or improve certain skills.
Hill and Flynn emphasize the importance of assigning homework because it allows your ELL students to carry over their skills learned in class through practice and review. It is critical to give students time to review the homework before they take it home. This will help assure that the students know what they need to do. Just like in a classroom without ELLs, the homework should be able to be completed independently, and as students progress through grades, time needed to complete homework should increase. In order to validate the homework assignments, they should be collected and reviewed, or reviewed together as a class, so students have opportunities to clarify anything they may have misunderstood.
This slide shows an example of homework adapted for early production students. Only single-word responses are solicited. Now you see an example of homework adapted for students at the speech emergence stage, where they are prompted to respond in complete sentences.
Hill and Flynn provide an excellent simile for the phenomenon known as affective filter. If a student suffers from low self-esteem, inadequate motivation, and apprehension, an affective filter goes up like an imaginary wall, seriously affecting the process of language acquisition. In this book, the authors explain that it is necessary to show students that effort and achievement are positively correlated. A great way to do this is by providing students with a simple rubric to track their efforts, like the one shown here. When they realize that the more effort they put forth, the more they achieve, their motivation will increase. To reinforce your students' efforts and motivation, it's vital to provide them with adequate praise and recognition. However, recognition and praise should be given when students reach specific performance goals. Verbal praise and even certificates can be personalized so that it will encourage them and positively affect their intrinsic motivation.